Disrespect is poison. Allow it once and it spreads like wildfire until everyone believes they can step on you. The powerful know this truth. Respect is never asked for. It is enforced. If you tolerate disrespect, you invite weakness. If you crush it, you establish power. These are 7 ruthless lessons on how to deal with disrespect and ensure it never touches you again. When someone disrespects you, the first instinct for most men is to fire back immediately, to defend themselves, to explain, or to strike in anger. But the truth is this: your first weapon is not words, and it is not rage. Your first weapon is silence. Disrespect feeds on reaction. The disrespectful want your anger, your arguments, your energy. They want you dragged down into the mud where they feel strongest. If you answer them on their terms, they have already won. But silence denies them this victory. Silence leaves their insult hanging in the air, echoing for everyone to hear. Instead of dragging you down, it exposes them for the fool they are. Picture a crowded room where a man makes a sly remark meant to embarrass you. Most men would argue back, raising their voice, and soon both sides look like children squabbling. But the man who answers with silence, who holds his gaze steady, who refuses to let the words touch him, that man commands the room. He does not bend. He does not scramble for approval. He lets the fool burn in his own fire. Silence is not weakness. It is strategy. It says your words are not worth my breath. And when you master it, you will find that silence cuts deeper than any shout, because it forces the disrespectful to confront their own emptiness. Silence turns their attack into their own downfall. Disrespect does not die when ignored. It grows. Like a weed in the cracks of stone, it spreads quietly until it consumes the ground beneath you. That is why boundaries must be set, and they must be set publicly. Private corrections may feel polite, but they rarely hold weight. To confront disrespect in the shadows is to give it room to return. To confront it in the open is to kill it where it stands. When someone disrespects you, their goal is not always the insult itself. Often they are testing the waters. They want to see how far they can go, whether others will join them, whether you will let it slide. If you let it pass, you invite 100 more challenges. But when you stop it immediately, and when you stop it where everyone can see, you send a clear and lasting message: I will not be crossed. Consider the Renaissance court. A nobleman makes a sly remark in front of the assembly, hoping to draw laughter at your expense. If you smile weakly, you become the court's fool. But if you cut him off in that very moment, not with rage but with cold precision, the laughter dies. Not only does the offender learn his place, but so does every witness in the room. One boundary drawn in public can silence an army of future insults. Boundaries are not cruelty, they are defense. A wall around a city does not exist to punish its citizens. It exists to keep the wolves out. In the same way, your boundaries exist to protect your dignity and your power. Do not whisper them. Do not hide them. Draw them clearly, and draw them in the open. For once the world sees you enforce them, it will think twice before testing you again. Disrespect is bait. It is a lure thrown into the water, waiting for you to snap at it. And the most common mistake men make is to match the energy of the one who disrespected them. They shout when shouted at. They rage when mocked. They mirror the behavior of the very fool trying to pull them down. In doing so, they surrender their power. The wise man knows better. He never matches chaos with chaos. He never meets fire with more fire. Instead, he stays calm, deliberate, cold. While the other man burns himself out with noise, the wise man strikes with precision, or waits until his enemy destroys himself. Picture two men in a council debate. One grows red with fury, pounding his fist on the table, his voice cracking with anger. The other speaks quietly, his words sharp as a blade, his tone steady. Who commands respect? Who leaves with authority? Not the one who lost himself, but the one who held control. To never match their energy is to remain untouchable. Anger clouds judgment. Fury makes mistakes. But calmness frightens men. Coldness unsettles them. The man who refuses to be pulled into another's storm stands like a stone while the waves crash uselessly around him. And when the storm ends, he is still there, unbroken, unbent, unshaken. Disrespect that goes unpunished always returns. Every time you let it slide, you send the message that you can be tested again. Disrespect does not stop on its own. It stops only when there is a cost attached to it. That cost does not need to be loud. It does not need to be violent. But it must exist. The man who mocks you today must feel the sting tomorrow. Perhaps through a door closed to him, a favor denied, or an opportunity that quietly disappears from his hands. Power speaks best through subtle consequences. Think of a ruler who ignores slights from his court. Soon every man feels emboldened to speak freely against him. But the ruler who allows one jest and then strips its speaker of privilege the next day teaches a lesson that echoes through the halls. Disrespect has a price, and it is too costly to pay. Do not mistake patience for weakness. To let someone off without consequence is not mercy. It is negligence, and negligence erodes power. If you wish to hold respect, you must make it known that every slight, every insult, every act of defiance will be answered. Quietly perhaps, but surely. Respect cannot survive without consequences. Sometimes the sharpest blade is indifference. To dismiss a man is to declare him irrelevant. And nothing kills disrespect faster than making your enemy realize he does not matter. Dismissal is more powerful than anger, because anger acknowledges the offender. It shows he reached you. Dismissal does the opposite. It shows he failed. You wave your hand and he is gone. You turn your back and he becomes invisible. To you, he is nothing. Consider a jester who mocks his master too freely. The master does not argue with the fool. He does not wrestle with him in words. He gestures, and the fool is dragged from the hall. In that instant, the balance is restored. The lesson is learned by everyone watching. To cross this man is to erase yourself from his world. The art of dismissal requires discipline. You must resist the urge to engage, to prove yourself right, to crush them directly. Instead, you crush them by refusing to even acknowledge them. And in that silence, they wither. Master dismissal, and you will never waste your energy on fools again. The disrespectful often bury themselves with their own mouths. They speak too much, too recklessly, too foolishly. A wise man does not meet their noise with more noise. He listens. He waits. And then he turns their words into the rope that hangs them. When someone insults you, repeat their words back calmly. Let the crowd hear what was said. Do not embellish. Do not exaggerate. Simply hold their own insult up to the light. Often, the sting is not in your reply, but in their realization of how pitiful they sound when stripped of bravado. Imagine a noble sneering at another during a public assembly. The insulted man does not raise his voice. He repeats the words evenly, for all to hear. The room falls silent. The insult now naked. Its pettiness exposed. The crowd does not laugh with the attacker anymore. It laughs at him. This is the art of using their words against them. You turn their weapon into your shield. You make their tongue betray them. And in the end, they are not only silenced, they are humiliated by their own folly. The final lesson is the most powerful. Build a presence so strong that disrespect dies before it begins. When people sense your aura, when they know you tolerate nothing, they think twice before ever crossing you. This aura is not built overnight. It comes from consistency, from silence when needed, consequences when required, dismissal when deserved. Over time, these actions create a reputation, and reputation is armor. In the Renaissance courts, there were men you dared not insult, not because they were the loudest, not because they were the most violent, but because their presence carried weight. To disrespect them was to invite ruin. That aura protected them more than any sword. Your goal is to become untouchable. To walk into a room and command respect without speaking a word. To make disrespect unthinkable. That is the height of power. When you no longer have to fight for respect, because the world knows it is already yours.